In the busy city of Dhaka, a young boy named Rohan had a big dream. He lived in a small apartment with his family. The sounds of the city were always around him. Cars honked and people shouted. But in his mind, Rohan heard a different sound. He heard the clank of weights and the cheer of a crowd. He wanted to be a bodybuilder. This was not a common dream for a boy in his neighborhood. Most of his friends wanted to be doctors or engineers. Rohan was different. He saw strength not just in books but in the human body. He believed in the power of hard work and dedication. Rohan's room was his special place. The walls were covered with posters of famous athletes. He admired their strong muscles and their confident smiles. They looked like heroes to him. He would spend hours looking at these pictures. He imagined himself on a big stage one day. He saw bright lights shining down on him. He felt the weight of a heavy trophy in his hands. This vision fueled his passion. Every morning he would wake up early to do push-ups and sit-ups on the floor of his small room. His family sometimes worried about his unusual hobby, but they saw the fire in his eyes and let him chase his dream. His journey started with simple things. He used bricks as weights. He read every article he could find about exercise and nutrition. He saved his pocket money to buy protein powder. His friends would often tease him. They did not understand why he chose this difficult path. They would be out playing cricket, while Rohan was inside, pushing his body to its limits. But their words did not stop him. Instead, they made him more determined. He knew that greatness required sacrifice. He was ready to give everything to achieve his goal. He was building not just his body, but also his character. As he grew older, his passion only became stronger. He finally joined a local gym. It was a simple place with old equipment, but to Rohan, it was paradise. The smell of sweat and iron felt like home. He watched the older men lift heavy weights. He learned from them. He listened to their advice. He worked hard every single day. The gym became his sanctuary, a place where he could escape the chaos of the city and focus on his dream. He was on a lonely path, but he was not afraid. He knew that one day, all his hard work would pay off. He was just waiting for the right moment and the right person to share it with. One sunny morning, Rohan's school organized a picnic. It was a special day for all the students. They were going to a beautiful forest just outside the city. The name of the forest was Bawal National Park. It was a place of tall trees and quiet lakes. For Rohan, it was a welcome break from his strict routine of school and gym. He was excited to breathe the fresh air and see the green scenery. He packed his bag with snacks and a water bottle. He joined his friends on the bus. They were all singing and laughing. The city slowly disappeared behind them, replaced by green fields and open skies. The bus arrived at the forest. The students poured out full of energy and excitement. The teachers gave them instructions to stay together. But the forest was big and inviting. Small groups started to wander off, exploring the winding paths. Rohan walked with a few of his classmates. They talked about their exams and future plans. Rohan mostly listened. He was enjoying the peace of the forest. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating beautiful patterns on the ground. The air was cool and smelled of earth and flowers. It was a big change from the noisy, crowded gym he was used to. Rohan decided to take a walk by himself. He wanted a moment of quiet reflection. He followed a narrow trail that led deeper into the woods. He felt a sense of calm he had not felt in a long time. The only sounds were the chirping of birds and the rustle of leaves in the wind. He walked for a while, lost in his thoughts about his bodybuilding dreams. He thought about the next competition and the hard work that lay ahead. The forest seemed to give him a new kind of strength, a mental strength that was just as important as physical power. He reached a small clearing. In the center of the clearing was a large, ancient banyan tree. Its long roots hung down like curtains. And there, sitting quietly on one of the thick roots, was a girl. She was looking at a small wildflower in her hand. She seemed completely unaware of her surroundings. She was lost in her own peaceful world. Rohan stopped in his tracks. He had never seen her before, or perhaps he had never noticed her. In that quiet moment, surrounded by the beauty of the forest, Rohan felt like he had discovered something truly special. He stood there for a moment, just watching her. The girl sitting under the banyan tree was named Bristi. Her name meant rain in Bengali, and it suited her perfectly. She had a calm and gentle spirit, much like a soft drizzle on a warm day. She was not loud or boisterous like many of the other students. She preferred quiet corners and the company of books. She had long, dark hair that fell over her shoulders. Her eyes were large and expressive, reflecting the deep thoughts within her. In a world that was always rushing, Bristi moved at her own gentle pace. She found beauty in small things, like the wildflower she was holding. Bristi came from a very different world than Rohan. Her family valued art, music, and literature. Her home was filled with books and paintings. She loved to read poetry and listen to classical music. She had a delicate and graceful presence. Physical strength and athletic pursuits were not part of her world. She saw the world through a lens of emotion and artistry. She was shy and introverted, often finding it difficult to speak up in large groups. The school picnic was a chance for her to escape into nature, which she loved as much as her books. The forest was like a poem to her, full of hidden meanings and quiet beauty. Rohan was captivated by her. He had seen many girls before, but Bristi was different. Her beauty was not just in her physical appearance, it was in her stillness, her peaceful aura. She seemed to carry a piece of the forest's tranquility with her. While Rohan was focused on building his outer strength, he could see that this girl had a powerful inner strength. It was a quiet confidence that he found incredibly attractive. He felt a sudden urge to talk to her, to understand the world she lived in. He was used to the world of iron and effort, but her world of quiet contemplation was new and fascinating. As he stood there, Bristi finally looked up. Her eyes met his. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Rohan felt a strange mix of nervousness and excitement. He was used to facing heavy weights, but the gaze of this gentle girl felt much more challenging. He saw a flicker of surprise in her eyes, but she did not look away. She offered a small, shy smile. That simple smile broke the silence. It was an invitation, a quiet welcome into her peaceful world. Rohan knew he had to say something. This was a moment he could not let pass by. The dreamer from Dhaka was about to meet the girl named after the rain. Rohan took a deep breath and walked slowly towards Bristi. He felt more nervous than he did before a heavy lift at the gym. He searched for the right words to say. He didn't want to disturb her peace. "That's a beautiful flower," he said, his voice softer than usual. Bristi looked down at the small purple wildflower in her hand, then back up at him. "Yes, it is," she replied quietly. "The forest is full of them. You just have to look closely." Her voice was soft and melodic, like the gentle sound of rain that her name suggested. It was a pleasant sound in the quiet clearing. He sat down on a nearby root, keeping a respectful distance. "I'm Rohan," he introduced himself. "I'm in class 10. Bristi nodded. "I know," she said with another shy smile. "I've seen you at school. You are the one who is always going to the gym." Rohan was surprised. He didn't think anyone like her would have noticed him. He thought his world of bodybuilding was separate from the academic world of a girl like Bristi. "Yes, that's me," he admitted a little proudly. "I want to be a bodybuilder." He expected her to be confused or uninterested, but her reaction surprised him. "That must take a lot of discipline," Bristi said, her eyes showing genuine curiosity. "It's like a different kind of art, isn't it? Sculpting your own body." Rohan had never heard anyone describe it that way before. People usually just saw it as lifting heavy things. But Bristi saw the artistry in it. She understood the dedication it required. For the first time, Rohan felt truly seen. He felt a connection with this girl who seemed so different from him. He found himself opening up, telling her about his dreams, his struggles, and his passion for fitness. Bristi listened intently. She did not judge or interrupt. She asked thoughtful questions. She told him about her love for poetry and how words could build beautiful worlds. He told her how weights could build a strong foundation. They discovered that they were not so different after all. Both of them were creators. He created strength with iron, and she created beauty with words. They talked for a long time until the teacher's whistle called everyone back to the bus. As they walked back together, Rohan felt a new kind of inspiration. It wasn't just about lifting weights anymore. He wanted to share his world with her. So, a few days after the picnic, Rohan just couldn't stop thinking about Bristi. He really admired her quiet strength and honestly, her unique perspective on his passion. He wanted to see her again and well, he also had an idea, a bold one. He believed that the gym could offer her something valuable, just as she had given him a new way of seeing his own dream. He thought about how fitness could build not just physical strength, but also confidence, and he really wanted to help her find that. Gathering his courage, he approached her during a break at school. He invited her to visit his gym, just to see what it was like. Now Bristi was hesitant at first. The idea of a gym was pretty intimidating to her. It seemed like a loud, aggressive place full of grunting men and heavy machines. It was the complete opposite of her quiet world of books and nature. She pictured a place that just wasn't meant for someone like her. She politely tried to decline, saying it wasn't her kind of thing. But Rohan was persistent, in a gentle way. He explained that strength came in many forms. He told her it wasn't about becoming a bodybuilder, but about feeling stronger and more confident in her own body. He promised he would be there to guide her. His sincerity and passion, convinced her. She agreed to go with him one afternoon after school. When she first stepped inside the gym, all her fears seemed to come true. The air was thick with the smell of metal and sweat. The sound of weights clanging and people breathing heavily just filled the space. It was, honestly, overwhelming. She saw muscular men lifting weights that seemed impossibly heavy. She felt small and out of place. She wanted to turn around and leave. She clutched her bag nervously, her eyes wide with apprehension. This world felt alien and unwelcoming. Rohan saw the fear in her eyes and quickly came to her side. "Don't worry about them," he said softly, pointing to the big lifters. "Everyone starts somewhere. We will start with something very light." He led her to a quiet corner of the gym away from the more crowded areas. He showed her some simple stretching exercises first, then he handed her a pair of very small dumbbells, ones that weighed only 1 kilogram each. "Just try this," he said with an encouraging smile. Bristi looked at the small weights in her hands, then at Rohan's reassuring face. She took a deep breath and took her first uncertain step into the world of fitness. Bristi's first few weeks at the gym were honestly pretty challenging. Her muscles ached in ways she never knew was possible, and every movement just felt awkward and difficult. Even the simple exercises that Rohan demonstrated with such ease left her breathless and tired. There were moments, when she really wanted to give up. She felt weak and clumsy compared to the other people in the gym. The mirror on the wall reflected an image of a person she didn't recognize, a person struggling with even the lightest of weights. It would have been easy for her to quit and return to the comfort of her familiar world of books and quiet contemplation. But Rohan was always there for her. He was a patient and encouraging teacher, never pushing her too hard. He celebrated every small achievement. When she managed to do one more repetition than the day before, he would praise her effort. He taught her the correct form for each exercise, carefully explaining how it helped the body. He made sure she felt comfortable and safe. Rohan would often share stories of his own early struggles, gently reminding her that everyone starts as a beginner. His constant support was the anchor that kept her from drifting away. He was not just her trainer, he was her biggest cheerleader. Slowly but surely, Bristi began to change. The soreness in her muscles was replaced by a feeling of strength. She started to notice small changes in her body. She could lift slightly heavier weights and she could hold a plank for a few seconds longer. But honestly, the biggest change was happening inside her. The physical exertion became a release for her mind. The focus required for each exercise helped to quiet the anxieties that sometimes troubled her. She started to feel a new kind of confidence, a strength that came from within. The gym was no longer an intimidating place, it was becoming her own sanctuary. Their shared time at the gym brought them closer together. They became a team. He would spot her when she lifted weights, and she would encourage him when he was attempting a new personal record. They talked about everything during their rest periods, their families, their fears, and their dreams for the future. He learned about her favorite poets, and she learned about his nutritional plans. Their two different worlds began to merge in this space filled with the sounds of effort and determination. Their bond was being forged with every weight they lifted and every drop of sweat they shed together. The hours they spent together at the gym started to, change the nature of their relationship. Their easy friendship, born in the quiet of a forest clearing, was now deepening into something more profound. It was no longer just about Rohan helping Bristi, or Bristi supporting Rohan. They were partners in every sense of the word. They saw each other at their most vulnerable, struggling, sweating, and pushing past their limits. This shared experience created a unique and powerful intimacy between them. They learned to communicate without words, understanding each other's needs with just a look or a nod. For Rohan, Bristi was more than just a training partner. She was his source of balance. Before he met her, his life was all about discipline, routine, and physical goals. Bristi brought a new dimension to his world. She taught him to appreciate the quiet moments, the beauty in art, and the power of gentle words. She reminded him that true strength was not just about the size of his muscles, but also about the kindness in his heart. When he was with her, he felt a sense of peace that he couldn't find anywhere else. He realized that his dream of being a champion felt incomplete without her by his side. For Bristi, Rohan was the person who helped her discover a strength she never knew she possessed. He saw potential in her that she couldn't see in herself. He gently pushed her out of her comfort zone, and showed her that she was capable of more than she ever imagined. He was her rock, her constant source of encouragement. With him, her shyness began to melt away, replaced by a quiet confidence that radiated from within. She started to see the world as a place of possibilities, not limitations. She found herself admiring not just his physical strength, but his incredible dedication and his kind heart. One evening, after a particularly long workout, they were sitting together, tired but happy. The gym was almost empty. The usual loud music had been turned down. In the quiet atmosphere, the unspoken feelings between them became impossible to ignore. Rohan turned to Bristi, his expression serious but tender. He told her how much she meant to him, how she had changed his life for the better. Bristi, no longer the shy girl from the forest, looked back at him with a confident smile. She confessed that she felt the same way. In that moment, among the weights and machines, their friendship blossomed into love. Their love story was as unique as they were, honestly. It was a love that grew in the space between a heavy deadlift and a line of poetry. Rohan and Bristi supported each other's passions completely. He would attend her poetry readings, listening with pride as she shared her beautiful words with an audience. She would be in the front row at his bodybuilding competitions, her cheers the loudest in the hall. They understood that their individual dreams made their shared life richer. They did not try to change each other. Instead, they celebrated their differences and found strength in their combined worlds. Rohan's bodybuilding career began to soar. With Bristi's unwavering support, he felt more focused and motivated than ever. He knew he was not just lifting for himself anymore. He was lifting for their future. He won several local and national competitions. His picture started appearing in fitness magazines. He became the hero he had always dreamed of being. But through all the success, he remained grounded. He never forgot the boy with posters on his wall or the gentle girl who saw the art in his struggle. Bristi was his constant reminder of what truly mattered: love, dedication, and kindness. Bristi also blossomed in her own right. The confidence she gained in the gym seeped into every area of her life. She became a more assertive and expressive person. She published a book of her poetry which was received with critical acclaim. Her work often explored themes of strength, transformation, and finding beauty in unexpected places, inspired by her own journey. She was no longer just the quiet girl who loved books. She was a strong, confident woman, an artist who had found her voice. She and Rohan were a power couple, each successful in their own field, but always stronger together. Their love was a testament to their hard work, both in the gym and in their relationship. They proved that love could bridge any gap. It didn't matter that he came from a world of iron and she came from a world of ink. They built their own world together, a world where strength and sensitivity could coexist beautifully. Their bond was forged in the fires of the gym, tempered by patience, and polished by mutual respect and admiration. They were a team, partners in fitness and in life, ready to face any challenge that came their way, together. The day finally came when Rohan and Bristi decided to make their partnership official. They planned a wedding that was a perfect reflection of their unique love story. It was a beautiful ceremony that blended the traditions of their two very different families. There were vibrant flowers and soulful music that represented Bristi's artistic world. There were also symbols of strength and perseverance that honored Rohan's journey. It was a celebration not of two people becoming one, but of two worlds joining together to create something new and wonderful. Their families, initially surprised by the unlikely pairing, now saw the deep love and respect they had for each other. Their wedding was a joyous occasion. Rohan, looking handsome in his traditional attire, could not take his eyes off Bristi. She was radiant, her quiet confidence shining brighter than ever. Their friends from all walks of life were there. His friends from the gym stood alongside her friends from the literary circle. It was a beautiful mix of people, all gathered to celebrate a love that defied expectations. As they exchanged their vows, they promised to continue supporting each other's dreams, to always be each other's biggest fan, and to build a life filled with both strength and poetry. After their wedding, they built a home together. It was a space that perfectly mirrored their personalities. One room was a home gym, filled with the equipment Rohan needed for his training. Another room was a quiet library, lined with bookshelves from floor to ceiling for Bristi, but the rest of the house was a blend of their tastes. Art hung on the walls next to framed photos of his competitions. It was a home filled with love, laughter, and mutual respect. They continued their routines, working out together in the mornings and reading together in the evenings. Their life was a beautiful dance between effort and ease. Rohan and Bristi's story became an inspiration to many. They showed that true love is about finding someone who complements you, not someone who is exactly like you. The boy who dreamed of muscles and the girl who dreamed of verses found their happiness by blending their two worlds. They proved that a foundation of love, respect, and mutual support is stronger than any weight one could ever lift. From a chance encounter in a forest to a shared life of purpose, Rohan and Bristi had built their own masterpiece, a love story for the ages, forged in iron and written